This module is related to the activities which are made to ensure financial globalization. The financial globalization need to be ensured through different kind of strategies. And we already learned about the possibilities of variety of crises which may appear in the financial sector and the financial market, because in financial market, when the financial markets are going to integrate, the capital flow is becoming more vibrant, it is going to be more mobile, and so that may disturb some of the economies, and it may quickly move from one economy to other economy, and it may create some kind of speculative investment and cause different kind of disturbances to the domestic economy, as well as its impact may or its repercussion may increase and affect the whole global financial system. So just to avoid that, just to handle that, different kind of strategies were made. One of the most important strategy is Basel Accord, which was actually established in 1988. Once the financial markets are going to expand, then there are more banking business. Banking business scope was growing up. And once you know that banks are going to give more loans for the investment purposes, then they are going to take more risk. The risk, and if that kind of integration is going to be increased, or the scope of investment is going to expand across the borders, then the risk level is going to rise as well. So risk management was required specifically. And secondly, supervision was needed, because investment or funds which are used for investment purposes, they may not be used for real investment or economic benefits. They may be used purely on the financial grounds just to generate more financial benefits. So supervision was also required. Actually, different kind of financial norms and standards were established by G10 Group 10. And those countries who are the part of Group 10, they actually follow these kind of financial standards and norms. And later, more than 100 countries adhere to this Basel Accord. So they also, once they learned that these financial standards and these norms or these practices are playing vital role to make stability in the financial system and extension of the financial system with more stable way, then they are induced and they show their adherence to the Basel Accord. Strategies were that the internal control and management was focused. Supervisory review processes were done periodically or regularly. Markets were disciplined. So market discipline was ensured. So these were the basic strategies. Major control was on internal control and management. Every country by itself focused more on their internal financial setup and internal financial activities. Its focus was on trading risk, market risk, credit risk, and operational risk. So these are the four major risks, because trading risk, most of the trading activities are going on, so trading risk is the part of that. Market risk is also there, credit risk is also there, and operational risk. So all these four important risks are playing vital role here. So they need to be controlled, because they are going to multiply, they are going to have multiplier effect on the overall risk for the financial sector. So later Basel Accord 2 was introduced in 2001, and definitely it was the advancement or improvement in the first Basel Accord. And now it has three major pillars. First, the purpose was to enhance the soundness of financial system by aligning regulatory capital requirements, because the capital requirements were not in aligned with respect to different countries, so their alignment was required, and that alignment leads towards more sound financial system. So three pillars were focused here. First, set out minimum capital requirement. So whenever investment is going to happen, how much capital requirement is going to be set, that was established with the standard of 8% of the capital requirement, and this was set with the risk weighted assets. So the 8% of capital with respect to the risk weighted asset. Secondly, internal capital adequacy requirement was also there, because how much capital adequately available, that need to be assessed domestically, and then it need to be compared with the probable portfolio risk. Mean to say how much domestic capital is available with the country and how much risk that capital may have, whether that are going to be consistent with each other, and whatever returns are available, they are consistent with the risk, or risk is high as compared to the assets or as compared to the returns. Third important pillar was effective disclosure of banks' risk portfolio, because that is going to convey to the depositor how much they need to deposit in a particular bank, how much risk they are going to take through that particular bank. So risk management style and capital status information was required to be shared with the stakeholders, so that they know the level of risk and they can manage it whenever the level of risk is high. Third, Basel Accord was introduced in 2010, and again G20 economies, now previously G10 economies were doing that thing more, now G20 economies were focusing on that according to this research article. So if we observe this phenomena, that how this Basel II converted into Basel III, these are the shortcomings which were observed in Basel Accord II, and then it transformed into Basel Accord III. Unclear and inconsistent capital definitions were there, which were transformed into enhanced transparency, consistency and quality of capital base. Second is the exposure to some risk not addressed in case of Basel II Accord. So the risk coverage include securitization of BS items and CCR, inadequate treatment of liquidity risk, enhanced liquidity standards, then excessive BS growth, deposit relatively small level of capital. It leads towards leverage ratio introduced as a risk invariant measure of BS growth. Next, the causes procyclical amplification of shock in financial sector, which were observed. Adoption of measures to counteract procyclicality, how they are going to be reversed. So these kind of changes have been suggested in case of Basel Accord 3 to reduce those kind of problems which may actually arrive even with the implementation of Basel Accord 2. So the Basel Accord 3 is further advancement to improve those gaps or those flaws which were observed in Basel Accord 2. So probably over the time further improvement and development may be needed, and it will be observed whenever they are required through further, maybe possibly through Basel Accord 4th and 5th, so on.